To come in here and playing with all these young guys, all these new guys. I mean, is that good for you? You think? I mean,
Makes
that
me
give you
feel
a little,
young.
give you a
Absolutely.
little bounce in your step.
Yeah, somewhat. And I try to stay young, and but at the same time, it just kind of helps me be who I am. You know, mentor, teach, whatever. I don't. One thing I'll never do is overstep my boundaries of the coaching staff. I just try to kind of be an outlet and the on the court coach as far as kind of translating. You know, sometimes when you get yelled at by the coach, you're like, man, he's this way. You know, can kind of explain this is what he's trying to say or get accomplished, and so on and so forth. So it's fun. It's great to be out here and see the energy in the gym. These guys are young, and it kind of keeps me motivated, keeps me going. It kind of pushes me as well.
Are they asking you a lot of questions? You know.
Absolutely, and sometimes even if they don't ask questions, I kind of step forward and just be a veteran and kind of just explains situations. I mean, everything's situational, and you know they're seeing and hearing so many things all at one time. So if I can just put them in the right position or just showing them the way prior to it being explained or them messing up the situation, I try to do so. But yes, these guys are asking a lot of questions, very attentive, and that's what you want from young guys. Is just willing to listen. You know, that's just what you ask of young guys, is just, you know, humble yourself, sit back and learn, ask questions, and I think that's how you get better faster, and everything tends to make sense a lot quicker. You know, go ahead.
Like, you've been a star in this league, and like a very high-level star, and you've had to adjust to being a role player. How have you done that? Because, you know, some guys, that's what they really struggle with, like to make that transition from being a star to a role player.
It takes time, takes some studying for myself, and I think the first time I was asked to come off the bench, I really didn't know how to handle it, and you know, so what I did, I asked questions, same way. You know, I approached it as a rookie as well. Just how do I dominate my new role? And I still wanted to be Vince, and still want to play my same style of play and be this person that I am, but in a reserve role. And how do I do that? So I watched film on some of the great six men of this NBA's time, the Vinnie Johnsons of the world, the Manu Ginobilis, and the Jason Terry, some of the guys that I watched, and I say, hey, who are the guys that had a reserve role, Jamal Crawfords of the world, who are the guys that had that role, and how did they approach it, and what was their mentality? And I was able to kind of figure it out and humble myself at the same time.
Who were you with when you became a six-man? What year are we talking?
So long ago, I don't remember. Phoenix, possibly. That's when I think it first happened. And I started a little bit in Dallas the next year, and you know, we were looking for. Coach Carlisle wanted to kind of change, give us some more scoring off the bench, and I told him I'm all for it. You know, every coach I told him, I say I'm willing to do whatever. You know, I'm comfortable with my skin, and I'm comfortable with my game. I'm able to do whatever. I've been around. I've been in all type of situations. So it's, you know, in my opinion, if I'm able to finish the game, that's what means the most at the end of the day, anyway.
A lot of Kings fans are excited to just see you out here in the purple. You know, what do you hope to bring to this community or just to this fan base that's been struggling to get to the playoffs, but they've been loyal, and what do you hope to bring?
They're extremely loyal, and coming in as an opponent, you see that, you feel that, and just first and foremost, we ask for patience. We have a lot of young guys who are trying to learn, but they're very hungry and they want to win. And we as veterans come in, we've been around, and we want to bring the winning way again. And I was still playing, obviously, when Sacramento was a tough place to play, and you had to come prepared to play each and every time you stepped into this building. And we want to bring that back, but it's a patience. It takes steps, and we don't want to skip steps to get to that point. Yes, everybody's like, we want to win, we want to hold that trophy up. We all want to do the same thing, and I might not be here when it happens or not, but it's all about laying the groundwork now with a lot of talent and a lot of great young guys, and that's what we're asking right now. It's just patience and just a little belief, and we know they believe. We know they're going to come out and support, and I think when we put that product opening night on the floor, they'll be impressed and I think satisfied at what we have in this locker room with the veterans, and we're just going to continue just to push these guys because they want to be good and they want to put a great product out there, and they have to understand, yes, we're going to make mistakes. You're going to see tough nights. You know, that's the growth process of maturing and becoming a winning basketball team and program. So that's what we ask for the fans, just patience and the continued support. And when they feel that energy of the support, obviously you're going to see great basketball and see these guys going to give it all. And that's one thing, me personally, I said to the young guys today, is like, what's expected of them. Being a professional, things that we're asking of young guys, you know, they're still trying to learn that, and we're asking them to do all these things while throwing them in the fire. So it's a lot. You got to think when we all started our job, you know, how crazy everything was, and this went. It was a whirlwind. It was going 100 miles an hour. We're just trying to get everything just to slow down for him a little bit. Once that happens, you'll see growth.
Bogdan Bogdanovic, coming off the international scene. What do you know about him? And what can he?
He's a scorer. He's well polished. He's well polished. He's played in the professional game. Of course, the NBA is just a touch different, but at the same time, he's another guy walking here, still asking questions, still wants to be good, and he just adds to the nucleus of young guys that we have. So I've been very impressed with him. I mean, definitely we know what he's capable of doing, and it's all about putting it together right now. So he just adds to our young core of guys that we're absolutely proud of and excited to see grow.
Do you remember what season you were in when things kind of just clicked and you felt like, okay, I've learned a lot of lessons, but now I'm comfortable and I know what I need to do out there to be successful?
Say it one more time.
Do you remember what season how long it took for you to get to that point where you just felt comfortable enough to kind of be yourself?
Well, this is going to sound weird. Season 1, only because the amount of veterans I had on my team, from Doug Christie. I was his rookie, believe it or not. Doug Christie to Charles Oakley to D. Brown to Kevin Willis, they all played with superstars. If you think of back in that time who they played with prior to being on that team in Toronto, they'd all been around and been amongst the superstars and teaching and watching them do their thing as superstars. So it was easy to go and sit with each one of these guys and talk to them and learn the preparation of the game and how to be a pro and to prep each and every night for my matchup. And I felt comfortable as a player immediately because I was thrown into the fire, but I think my preparation helped slow things down. And I mean, it was a shortened season in '98, so that was a lockout year. So it was only 55 games, so I had to learn quickly. But I was thrown into the fire as a starter, and given responsibility. So and it helped that I had also Tracy there, who'd already been through it a lot. So I was a guy who asked a lot of questions, and if I wouldn't know if I didn't ask questions, and that helped me, and that slowed the game down, and I was able to kind of catch on rather quickly. You know, it's different for every player, so it's all about understanding who they are and what makes them tick and what helps them understand the game the quickest, and that's what we're trying to do.
20 years in, how have you maintained your body, and how can you impart that knowledge onto the young guys that maintaining your body, sleeping right, doing all that stuff?
Well, it's a process, and as a young guy, obviously in the beginning, I remember watching the older guys then, and they're hopping in the tub and they're always stretching. Like, man, for what? And I remember, and I'll give D. Brown his credit. He said, one of these days, you're gonna look back and say, man, you know, I was right. But he's like, you're gonna have appreciation for the cold tub. You're gonna have appreciation for all this stretching and stuff that we do. And midway, probably, I can't even remember what year, but you know, for sure, these last 10 years or so, every time I see D. Brown, I always shake his hand, you know, because I was his rookie, obviously, and he's more than happy to tell people that. But I was just like, you're right, and so I just try to show them the way, and you know, early on, more so, like I said, they're hearing and learning a lot at one time. I lead by example. I try to just do me and do my routine, and if they choose to watch and learn, they can do so, or jump into the fire. But as we go on, that's when I kind of step in and say, hey, you know, just try this, you know, try this, try that, because they're still trying to figure out their routine. You try to add your college routine into the NBA, and it's going to be a little different. So they're just trying to find their routine, and I just try to just give little hidden gems that I feel like that will help them early, and as we move on, just give them more and more. So for me, it's just I know who I am. I know what I have to do to compete at this level, and it's a lot. I mean, I think if at this point, I think if the young guys kind of watch how I operate and the things that I have to do, they're like, no way, this is just too much. But for me, I know that's what works, and that's how I can continue to play this game at this age and still contribute, you know, and it's okay for me. I'm okay with that. You know, it's when I'm not willing to put that work in is when of course, Vince will walk away. This guy right here is what we've done.